Is the Federal Reserve back to crushing the economy? Will there be anything left? Until recently, the Fed was confidently hinting, and markets were predicting, that they were done with hikes, that they'd pause, look around a little so it's not too obvious that they went too far too fast, and then they would start cutting. This was eagerly anticipated since it would give some breathing room to banks. Well, at least it would pour gasoline on the banking fire. And it would be prudent given there is a well-known lag between rate hikes and impact on the economy, typically around 12 to 18 months. Given rate hikes didn't really get restrictive, meaning above 2019 levels, until September, that is only 8 months ago, which is neither 12 nor 18 months. So we don't even know what the hikes they've already done are going to break, meaning the prudent thing would be to stop hiking. Well, actually, the prudent thing would be for Powell and Yellen to tell Congress to cut federal spending so inflation can come down on its own. That's not going to happen, but at least they could stop breaking things. Sadly, it is not to be. Yesterday, influential Fed Governor Waller surprised markets by saying even if they pause, he wants to get right back to the hikes. Waller noted what I've been saying on these videos, that inflation is not going anywhere, despite the most aggressive round of rate hikes in 50 years. He noted 6 out of 7 of the Fed's inflation measures are currently flashing red. Of course, he didn't mention the other thing I've been saying, to cut federal spending, but he's doing his best. Waller also cited housing numbers, which are holding up, and consumer spending, which is also holding up. This makes him think there's enough life yet in the real economy that it needs a couple more kicks in the head so it stays down, clearing the road for the federal government to spend everything their tiny little hearts desire. Of course, both housing and consumers are currently false signals. Houses are holding up because nobody is selling. Even if the kids go to college, you'd have to trade a 3% mortgage for a 7% mortgage. It is much better to just hold on until rates come down. Meanwhile, consumer spending usually does rise going into a recession. In fact, it's a main reason we have recessions in the first place. Resources shift from heavily subsidized investment, subsidized by easy money, to the less subsidized consumer industries people actually want. So home prices are predicting rate cuts, in other words, a recession, while consumer spending is also predicting a recession that, given that spending is floating on credit card debt and buying groceries on installment, could be a very painful one. Now, lest we hope that's just Governor Waller hitting the bottle, fresh Fed meeting minutes are now saying the same thing. The Fed is a deer in the headlights, terrified that all their burning and pillaging has failed to kill the real economy, meaning going by Fed rate probabilities, we are looking at even more pain from the Fed on top of the quantitative tightening I mentioned 2 days ago, with no let up for at least another 7 months. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.